He's brought in 50 artists from all over, top #1 songwriters. Comes in and Ronnie Bowman was up on stage, and his wife Garnett calls me over and she goes, "Chris, there's someone I want you to meet." And she introduces me to Aaron. And she says, "Aaron, Chris works with foster youth here in Vegas." Aaron tells me a story about the orphan train, how the foster systems got started in the United States. I thought, okay, that's pretty interesting. And then as Ronnie's up there on stage, and these artists are up there talking about these stories and how these stories help them get through some of the most difficult periods of their life, I go over and I get this idea, and I go over and I say, "Hey, Mr. Benward, can you, I got this idea. What if we brought your songwriters and we paired them with these kids in foster care and let these kids tell their stories, and your songwriters take those words and turn them into lyrics and put music to them?" He said, "Chris, I think that's a great idea." He goes, let's talk about it." Well, we talked about it for about 6 months, and then a few months ago we did our first pilot. We had 3 songwriters come in, and we had 4 songwriters. We had Dylan Altman and Danny Myrick and Ryan Patrick and Patrick Mahoney were our first 4 songwriters. We partnered them with 4 youth in foster care, and these kids told their story, and the songs that were created from that, we knew that it would probably be healing for the kids, right? What we didn't anticipate is how it was healing for the kids who heard these songs, their peers. So these kids are seeing these songs, and now if I'm a youth in foster care and I'm listening to the words on this, and I'm thinking there's nobody in this world that understands what I'm going through, you know what this kid does? And so it's powerful, not just for the storyteller. We call our kids that we're working with the storytellers. It's powerful not just for the storyteller, but when they understand that they have something inside of them that can help others heal, that takes healing to a whole nother level. It's sharing the joy. We believe that reciprocity. Every child is born with this innate capacity for reciprocity, and trauma, when it's introduced, it takes that away. We work to restore that. Our 8th sense is interoception, and it's how we process things. Are we hungry, or start to feel anxious, or whatever? Trauma, when that's introduced, all that's thrown off whack. And so when kids have an opportunity to give back, that's restored. That balance is restored. And that's what we do with My Story, My Song. These kids share their stories. They help others heal. The third thing that came from My Story, My Song was, it's one of my favorite stories to tell. Dylan Altman was one of the songwriters, and he's talking during the interview portion of it, and he's like, "You know what? I didn't know the first thing about kids in foster care. I didn't know about the foster care system." He said, "But here I am working with Cheyenne, and she's telling me her story, and I'm writing down these words, and I'm like, I know exactly what she's going through." These kids have stories that are going to resonate with people who don't have anything to do with the foster system. And the hope is that when people hear these stories and they feel that connection's going to create empathy. Empathy is going to result in more support for the children in foster care here in Las Vegas. I am so thankful to Aaron and his Nashville Unplugged program. Through Nashville Unplugged, and he chooses artists that he feels would be a good fit for our kids. It's not an easy thing to do, and he's been doing it a long time, and so I'm thankful for his expertise, and thankful for Positively Arts allowing us to use this space today. All of our supporters that are here that are making this possible. But most of all, I'm so thankful for the youth that have been brave enough to come in and be a part of this program, to tell their story, to share their story, so that not only they can find some healing from it, but they're helping others heal, and it's so cool. And I can't wait for you guys to hear these songs, because they are something special. Listen to the words. Listen to the words, and I guarantee you at least 1 or 2 of them you're gonna be singing on the way out of here. But this is a music therapy program, and so during the process, the kids in 3 hours they came together with this songwriter who they never met before, and they wrote these songs out. They told their story, these songs were written out. We had a therapist in the room with them to just kind of be there, and I'd like to turn it over to Shira and Stephanie. Shira's gonna come up first and talk a little bit about it. And Shira, thank you so much for being a part of this. And here we go.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Hey, Shira.
Hey, guys. Sharing the joy coming out with this program makes so much sense to me because there's so much focus on not just healing but empowerment as well. And it's a pay it forward type of healing that happens. And you see the same thing in music therapy. I'm a therapist, I specialize in women and children. And I, in seeing this program, notice how it kind of creates pockets of awareness for the youth to kind of tap into, wow, not only did I experience this, but I've come out on the other side. A lot of times I say to my clients in session, you can be a victim or a victor in your situation. And sometimes when you're going through something traumatic, you don't notice the thing that you've become victorious over. And so giving the kids an opportunity to reflect on the resiliency that they've cultivated and the space of arrival that they're in, and then to pay that resiliency forward through song is therapeutic on so many different levels.